Get a copy and study it. The whole idea of design to action is very comforting and reassuring. It's real. Darrell, in addition to being a permaculture teacher, writer, and a permaculture designer, he has a degree in sustainable community design. Did I get that right? Something like that. Okay. And I met him some 20 years ago, probably just about the time that the BioCellar shelter that they talked about was being constructed. And it was really exciting for people in the permaculture community in that area to see something big happening. And I get in touch with him off and on over the years. And last fall, I knew that he was having this book published, and I just thought it was fantastic that he was able to, take the time and the energy to put this book together to share with a wider group of people. And I also thought that it was nice to read. There would be a great opportunity if he could just come here and talk to us about 20 years of real work and just get us charged up so that we can get out there and get going some more projects. So, Darrell has come here all the way from Sandy Lake, Pennsylvania, here to Cleveland, and it'd be nice if we could give him a nice warm welcome.
Someone will have to have a hook and pull me off stage when it's time for me to. I'm not sure what the timing is here, but I'm open for you to ask questions and go along. I'm probably going to jump around a lot, and then I'm sure there's plenty of time at the end for questions. So this here on the left is my BioShelter. We built it in 1988. At the time, there was funding available for the 50 states from money that was overcharged to everybody that was buying gas in the 70s. The Carter administration sued major oil companies, and so there's hundreds of millions of dollars available for alternative energy projects. And so we wrote a grant to build our BioShelter. It was funded through that. They call it oil overcharge refund grant. And when we were designing our BioShelter, we were just starting a 5-acre market garden. And so we thought a year-round solar greenhouse would be a good teaching facility for permaculture, would be a good central facility for a farm. And I just had been studying BioShelters for years, and I wanted one, so I wanted to build one. I'm not necessarily motivated by economic concerns as much as somebody has to do these things. Reading philosophy from Stephen Gaskin at the farm in Tennessee, and he said if you see a problem, you probably decide you're supposed to fix it. So I don't try to fix every problem, but climate change, the need for organic agriculture, and development of solar bioshelters is a problem I was willing to take on. This BioShelter here is the ARC BioShelter, the original first building called BioShelter at the new Alchemy Institute in Cape Cod. And now it's a residence. It has a house built on the north side of it. They replaced and rebuilt the original BioShelter, and one of the original researchers at the Alchemy Institute now lives there. This lower right-hand photo, that's a building called a BioShelter at Hershey Montessori School in Huntsville, Ohio, Huntsburg, and 30 miles from there. A group of 8 to 9 students designed it with their teachers. It serves as a science classroom for the Montessori school, and they have a BioShelter managed. At the Montessori schools, they often give students occupations for the season. So one person's a BioShelter manager for a semester, and another person is a BioShelter systems manager, and they do their science curriculum there. A little Can you guys all see that? Is it dark enough? This is a shot of my BioShelter's interior in springtime. And it looks kind of like a forest edge. There's planters on the second floor. We have nasturtiums hanging down, there's pineapple sage growing, there's sun-gold tomatoes, and shelves full of cuttings and new plants. And, just a lot of diversity. We don't grow any one single crop. Mostly it's used to grow salad mix, so we do a lot of seedlings. Right now I'm out of space, and almost every available space is filled up with seedlings. And the woman that's running it works there. I'm doing a lot of other jobs these days, and the woman that's managing it has a lot of her things stored in my outdoor greenhouse. So she has to move her stuff, so we can pull the hardy plants out. Anyway, it's a very diverse environment with lots of plant propagation. When I say the word BioShelter, what I mean is a greenhouse that's managed ecologically. So within the building, we have habitat for beneficial insects. We have aphids, and so there's a wasp that parasitizes aphids. We have a fungus that's in there, Uvaria bassiani, that's naturally occurring to kill aphids. Right now, we're starting to get, I was watching a month ago, these gallmidge larvae, or gallmidges mating. They do stands in the sunlight, they go through their mating rituals, and then their larvae eats aphids. And then we have circuit flies that live in there that eat aphids. We have white flies, so we have Incarcia formosa, white fly predators year round. I do use some sprays and try to get rid of the white flies. Anytime I see spider mites, I like spider mite predators. And so we have lots of, try to encourage biodiversity, and a lot of the flowers are edible flowers, but we also need flowers for habitat, for nectar and pollen for beneficial insects, both inside and outside. So again, BioShelter is an ecologically managed greenhouse. I like to add solar to the would be non-fossil fuel needed for that idea, just to expand the concept of biological, ecological, which we also concerned with the whole planet. This is our building from the outside. I used to think that I am without a place in this picture, but then I realized that that's how I deliver my produce to the market, so it's actually an important part of the picture. We have a pond that we can irrigate from. You can't really tell, but there's a 10,000 square foot garden right in here between the country and goldenrod. And there's lots of little solar structures, plastic tunnels that put seedlings in, little frames for seedlings, and solar panel for irrigating the crops from the pond, solar power pump. And the trees in the background are all part of the windbreak system. And, the goldenrod, we encourage allow the goldenrod between our gardens because it suppresses other plants. It just doesn't let trees and shrubs grow up, and it provides habitat for beneficial insects. Someday I wanted somebody to research the carbon buildup in the soil where the goldenrod's been left there for 25 years, compare to our garden and see what the soil carbon is. A lot of research we can do. A really good introduction to solar design, besides my book, is the Cleveland Urban Design Collaborative's Phase 1 report on BioCellars. They've done a very good job of explaining solar design. They've done all these dynamic heat and solar, sunlight, and energy dynamic studies. So I don't know if that's available, but I encourage you all to read that, just to get a local perspective on how a solar greenhouse will work in Cleveland. But these illustrations, this one's to show that in the summer, the sun's higher in the sky, and in the winter it's lower in the sky, and so the winter time, our BioShelter has an insulated north roof, and so the light will come all the way in the winter but in the summer we designed it to be half shaded to reduce heat cooling costs in the summer. The illustrator probably should have little streaks of sunlight coming in on these plants from the skylights, but I didn't notice that when we were doing the illustration. And this is to show just some basic concepts of solar design. Any solar structure you can think of as a box, and it has glazing, which is either plastic or glass or acrylic that lets the sunlight in. Then it should have ventilation to let the extra heat out, insulation to help store the heat, and some kind of thermal mass to help hold the heat. The passive solar design. And really the details of solar design are how much mass, how much sunlight's coming, balancing the amount of thermal mass to the amount of glazing you have. There's so much heat measured in BTUs to come to each square foot of glazing. So, if you have 1,000 square foot of glazing and there's 1,000 BTUs per square foot average, you're getting 1,000,000 BTUs a day into 1,000 square foot of glazing in the winter time here at Cleveland probably. So you want to, without getting into any more details, it's all about balancing how much heat comes in, how much you store, and how much you lose on cold nights, and trying to design a building that will be as low energy as possible and still be productive. So what kind of compromise? This is a cross section of our BioShelter. The whole building is 40 feet wide and 105 feet long. And it cost about $100,000 when we built it in 1988. It has 2 floors. This greenhouse section with deep beds is 14 feet wide, and the second floor is 14 feet. There's an 8-foot storage area on the north side. It also acts as a windbreak to shelter the building. And then there's cold frames on the south side to get crop production and also to shelter the south foundation from cooling. And so a lot of this first floor is shaded in the summer. We also have compost chambers that we fill with, we have a chicken coop in here, so we put the bedding from the chicken coop in the compost chambers in late winter, and the heat from the compost comes through the bottom heat to germinate seedlings under perlite. And this is the floor plan. There's a processing kitchen, the long storage barn, the deep growing beds, chicken yard, poultry room, potting room. I really shouldn't have let the illustrator say hot tub on the book. It's supposed to say irrigation tank. It doesn't fit in there. But we hardly ever use it for irrigation anymore, and I hardly use it for hot tub either. The big concrete tank. But in the winter, what we do is the whole building is passive solar. And we also have some ductwork to pull the extra heat from the ceiling into rock storage for active solar. Then we have 2 wood stoves for backup heat. And one wood stove heats the air, and the other heats the hot tub tank. 600 gallons of water with an aluminum stove that's actually submerged in the water. So when you heat it, it's supposed to be 90% efficient, to burn it very hot in the water. The heat's transferred from the aluminum stove into the water. So when it's below 20 degrees, we keep that hot as a radiator. Next. This is just a concept of a smaller BioShelter, where you could go from your house to your chicken coop without going outdoors to your greenhouse, pick some greens, go feed your chickens, go back to your house. It's also kind of a self-contained homestead food system with chicken and eggs and growing beds. And then the house and the greenhouse help shelter the garden, so kind of a small-scale design illustration. This is an even smaller household scale design. This my illustrator just kind of came up with her own design. I had a different plan, and she just threw her greenhouse. But has some fish tanks for raising your catfish, and she wanted a hot tub in the corner, I guess, and a couple of chairs to lounge around on, some deep growing beds. I'm going to explain deep growing beds in a minute. That's my daughter 12 years ago when she was young and innocent. She's a mother. She's also the garden manager at the farm. Part of the farm design is to lay out functional windbreaks. We have several levels of windbreaks to protect the bioshelter. There's raspberries in the rows of small trees and wildlife plantings. There's the big trees in the tree line, and then we have a garden that has lilac and there's a honeysuckle and juneberries and rose hips right next to the building. Then there's a kiwi arbor also, so we have like 3 or 4 levels of windbreaks to the west of the building. And they're all planted with useful functional plants. Some of them need replanted. So human managed landscapes or constant occupation. Well, this is just another version of how I do the BioShelter. You can sort of see we have ductwork buried through these deep growing beds to distribute heat. The heat from the ceiling comes down and is blown through the pipes. And this gives you a sort of a view of the scale of the building. Pretty big. Most people are surprised when they come how big it actually is. So I put on a small scale design here that shows, and this is, I call it a Baleshelter. This is a 15 by 45 foot tunnel, costs about $300 to build. And these are all cedar posts that nail headers across at the ground level, and they're just up to a ridge plate, and then these are 4 foot high, so we have rafters that come off it. This is just, then we stack, it's covered with plastic, and we stack hay bales on 3 sides of it most years to sort of insulate and keep things growing. Usually we put spinach kale and lettuces in there. I actually didn't put the plastic back on last year, so I didn't use it, but normally we can grow salads and greens right through the winter in this structure. This is the side view again. Just some cedar posts in the ground. I used red oak, rough cut beams, and we kind of used the drawing knife and sand them a bit to get the rough edges off. This professor from Duquesne University did a sabbatical. He wanted to retire and be a market gardener and carpenter. So he wanted to build a greenhouse, so we built this in 1990. And then two of us, we built it in 2 days, cut all the framing lumber, and did the post walls one day, and then put it all together a week later.
How many square feet did you say it was?
It's 15 feet by 45. The tunnel's 45 feet, the plastic comes in 50-foot rolls, and you need a couple of feet to nail it down. So it's pretty simple and low cost. You know, the same size of the high tunnel would cost you $5,000 for the type frame. If you've got a few simple coverages good, you can build them for a lot lower cost. This is the same. My mother and my children lived in. Same kind of structure. This one's 12 by 16, and we put our seedlings in. And there's a header board and rafters, and then it's all built under these cedar posts, so it's not really a permanent structure. I think when I redid it, I'm going to use black locust because the locust lasts a lot longer than cedar posts. Now I have growing my own black locust so I can cut them. This we use for seedlings, and again, this was up to $200 for a 12 by 16 greenhouse, so clear plastic roof. This is a composting greenhouse at the new Alchemy Institute. And it was there. This was in 1988, so it's long gone. These are compost chambers, and the heat from they put hoist manure through the door in the back of the tunnel, and then that heat at the top, and then they glue the extra heat into ductwork under the soil. And in March of 1988, this thing had mature kales and lettuces, a lot of plants growing. This is our compost chamber. Usually we fill these things up to the top, and then when we're ready to clean them out, they composted down to about a third of the original volume when the compost is finished enough to take out. A cubic yard of compost wet, roughly a ton, I suppose. We give up to 1 million BTUs in a month. So we fill them up, and within a month it's given up most of the heat. It's going to give out biothermal energy, and then we change it furthermore. But when we were using this intensively, we had 8 compost chambers going, so we were getting at 1 million BTUs a month supplemental heat from the compost. I had teenage boys filling them, my sons, so we don't use it as much sense over there anymore. Their own families, waiting for my grandkids to come back. But it's really not that much to fill them. I back my dump truck up, and within an hour we have the manure unloaded and put in there. And now I clean out my chicken coop, and I don't use it as intensively. But cleaning it out again takes about an hour, so it's more laying out the tarps and cleaning up the floor as much as anything that's the labor. It is manageable on the farm scale. And this is the inside view of the compost chambers with the grow lights on top. And, they'll be slightly warm enough to help germinate peppers and tomatoes and whatnot. I keep talking about these deep growing beds. We have block beds. This happens to be 5 feet wide, which is a little wide to reach across, but we're trying to get the most growing space. So we put rocks up about 16 inches and soil 16 inches, and there's landscaping fabric between them. This place I work in Pittsburgh, we just did a bed like this that was 14 feet by 3 feet wide. And I had 2 people that loaded up in this little 4-wheel drive dump truck vehicle, RTV. We filled that up with rocks, and then used my 2 interns there working for the day. And within an hour, they carried in enough bucket loads of maybe 2 hours to fill up this thing with these rocks. And then we mix up potting soil ready, and we put in 8 bales of peat moss, and I put in 12 quarts of lime, and 6 quarts of rock phosphate, 6 quarts of green sand. We mix that all up, and then mushroom compost and a couple bags of soil. And, in one day's work, we had this planter fill up. What happens again is we blow the extra heat into the pipe, and then that's distributed through the rocks, and that stores the heat in the root zone. Root zone heating is a common commercial greenhouse technology. You want to put the heat where the plants need it. Instead of heating the air in the greenhouse, you heat the root zone. And then that acts as the thermal mass to store the solar heat. And it also provides drainage for the soil, and it actually dehumidifies the air in the greenhouse. When the warm air hits the cool rocks, the moisture condenses and releases the heat and the moisture in the air, and helps dehumidify it and stores the heat. This is a hard thing to put together. Any questions on that so far? The ductwork has perforated French drain pipes and fairly big rocks so the air can circulate. This is a Solviva BioShelter. There's a Annie Edie built this in 1986 on West Virginia Island. She ran it for 10 or 12 years, and then it was kind of a prototype. She used wood foundations and wood beds, so eventually the building started to decay, and she tore it down. But there's a real pioneer in the book has lots of inspiring information about intensively growing in a solar greenhouse. My farm manager called yesterday, and she's like, I'm confused. You said you planted the lettuce 4 to 6 inches apart, but outside we're planting 12 inches apart. And I'm like, when a greenhouse, we're harvesting more intensively, and we're cutting the outer leaves every week. Outside, we're producing whole heads of lettuce. So So these things are planted really extremely close together, and every week you cut 2/3 of the outer leaves for your salad harvest. Next. These are some of our planters. These are plastic barrel planters on the second floor of the BioShelter. We have rows of 4 planters, and I put aluminum flashing under all of them. They're up on wooden frames, and then I have plastic buckets. If people water too much, the water goes into the bucket instead of on the floor. And then later on, I'll take that and water the rosemary plant or something. It's almost like making compost tea if you're over water. When I'm watering it, the bucket never gets anything because I don't water too much. We use a lot of wild edibles in our salad mix. This has amaranth, with magenta lamb's quarters, purslane, and chickweed. And then I guess you can eat down soda, but I don't eat it. One of the things with our salad mix we sell for $12 a pound, restaurants in Pittsburgh. It has 8 or 10 kinds of lettuce and half a dozen other greens, nasturtium leaves, whatever wild edibles are in season, wild leaves, be coming into season soon. Check the pond here. Just some of the mixed plantings in the BioShelter, just like those pictures of some dark. Pansies are an edible flower, so I guess my farm manager raised the price of the flowers to 30 cents a piece now. For years ago, I sold for 25 cents each. So 100 flowers is $30. Next. This is the inside of our BioShelter house. It's part of the home, so they have a lot of ornamental plants. This is built into a hillside, and there's hardly any place on this building that the glazing is more than 10 or 12 feet from the soil. It slopes up the back of the building. I don't know if it showed a hillside or if it was there, but so it has no supplemental heat. It's all solar heated on pitch college, and I guess it's never frozen in there, never frosted enough to kill back anything important. And they've done a lot of beautiful stonework and also ground cover. This is a BioShelter in Flagstaff, Arizona. And it's about 60 feet by 40, and he raises chickens. It's a Permaculture Farm at the base of this 5,000-foot mountain. They kind of set up his farm to, instead of building raised beds, he built sunken beds, and when the rain washes off the building, he's got all these swales full of compost and straw and leaves, whatever they can grass clippings to absorb the water, and then they plant the gardens in the swales. So they use the BioShelter mostly to grow seedlings for the gardens, and then they have some year-round plantings too. Chickens are an important part of our BioShelter. They eat a lot of the weeds or waste crops. We get a lot of things, grasses and things. We bring in a lot of compost. We get leaves and gum leaves in the salad and the BioShelter. This week I was giving them chard because the chard is all bulky. They did plant the arugula and harvest 3 or 4 harvests. Sometimes in the winter, you can harvest all winter from the planting, and then they're starting to get flowers, so my chickens have been eating a lot of boring food. What they call the chard, arugula flowers. One of the things we've done is we set up the chicken yard, we surrounded it with concrete, and then when the rain tries to wash the nutrients that collect in there, the concrete collects it, and we feed the concrete back to the chickens, so there's a little nutrient cycle there. And every few years I run a skid loader to turn my compost for other projects, and then I take down the fencing, and I go in there and I scoop out all this old cotton soil, chicken manure, and I compost it, and mix it in with straw, and make another compost. It's too compacted to dig out by hand, those straw. I'm not going to Okay, this is kind of mixed up. Another view of the art BioShelter. You see the house attached up there in the middle. This is another picture inside our BioShelter. A lot of diversity in this photo. We have cheap sorrel that we use in the salad. There's probably young arugula, and there's chervil, snapdragons, lettuce, either dockweed or Canada flower coming up. We do a lot of herbal bouquets, edible flower bouquets, we sell to chefs. I don't, supposedly snapdragons are edible, but some folks say some people have reactions to them, but don't sell them for food, but we do put them in our herbal bouquets. Next. So we use earth berms anywhere we could around the building. There's not doorways, there's storage barn and cold frame, east and west wall, and part of the north wall. Foundation is 32 inches high before the walls start, 32 inches above the ground, so there's still soil up against it. We use for different crops. One year when we had a chamomile couch there, and then she carved that out and put stones there on, and now that stone's gone, and put strawberries. It's changing the landscape. I think I'm going to put strawberries again this year. I have 5 grandchildren, so I like strawberries. Another view of the BioShelter with our frames outside that we grow seedlings in. We run out of space inside, so we built these frames to put the seedlings in. This is an old picture. After we had this set up for 2 years, we turned them to the west because we had too much wind blowing the cover off. So the side with the permanent glass cover is faces to the west. This garden on the left is a flower and herb garden. It's got more and more perennials every year. Now there's a big apple tree in the middle. But again, it's a beneficial insect habitat right in the middle of the farm. There's a lot of flowers there specifically to promote beneficial insects. Another view of our low cost greenhouse. Not quite as lovely as some people's design. Works well. And lots of gardens around it, rain barrels. And this one actually has barrels of 10 or 12 barrels of water in it just to help keep the seedlings from getting frosted in the springtime. And I don't drain the water out of those, it never cracked. It's about 2/3 full, and keep it on, and it's pretty tall. I'm not sure if they freeze or not. I think they open them up and they're still full of water. I guess that was it. Probably go through that. Any questions?
Are the compost chambers separate out there, or are they connected together? And how do you move those?
Yeah, there's 2 systems. They're 30 feet long, 4 feet wide, 4 feet high. And each of them has 4 doors into it. And so the roof ductwork, we have a blower building, 4 horsepower blower motor, like a squirrel cage. And we have a damper, so if we have the damper turned one way, it just pulls the heat from the ceiling. If we have it turned the other way, it pulls the heat off the top of the compost. I was at the CASA conference 6 or 8 years ago at Pennsylvania Association of Sustainable Agriculture. They have this banquet with like 1,200 people are in this dining room. Sat at this table and he said, tell them what you do, what we do at the farm. And he's like, well, we do compost, we fill it up to zoo, and we collect the big bins, and we run tanks through it and collect the heat and blow it in to heat our greenhouses. And I'm like, yeah, I do that too. Except I shovel it in and get the manure spread around, and she's like, what else we do? He's like, oh, we sell raw edible plants. I'm like, yeah, me too. I didn't thought none of it believed me at first. All kinds of people, and only 2 people using biothermal energy. Maybe it was funny, I don't know.
Are these structures on your property, and if so, how is it zoned?
I didn't quite finish the last question. Did I say each of those compost chambers has 4 access doors that are continuous? We're in Mill Creek Township in Mercer County, Pennsylvania, and we have to pay $25 for an exemption from permit when we build it, and then we get then my property taxes are probably $1,200 a year. I pay them on time. But, and then we have a mobile home, and with these little plastic things, they're not really considered permanent buildings. They're like a high tunnel, just close to the ground. So I don't think they're taxing for that, just a mobile home.
But the BioShelter is considered as a unit, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's sure we pay a big part of the taxes on that. But I think it costs me $300 a week just to stay alive. Electric bill from your, we have multiple businesses, not just the farm, but property insurance. And that's probably cheap. Another thing more cost for it.
Could you say a little bit about its succession, which is happening? This is kind of a stable community of plants and animals.
Stable farm. Although when we started, we had a 5-acre field of it was just corn and soybeans for who knows how long, decades, soil pretty great. We bought our portion of it from a friend, about 10 acres, because we could farm there. So we talked him into leaving his fallow for 6 years while we were building his house and we were building ours, and we said all these things like yards, lakes, and docks, and just kind of self-seed. I was doing it over again. I would planted clover like that. Eventually, after 6 years, I planted a mix of clover. But we also encouraged the tree lines to grow. I looked at aerial photos of 1939. There was a nice tree line, and then like in 50, somebody cut back all the bushes, and there was just a few years that they had cut down completely, and then it regrew. But we let the tree line expand and dug with the trees. 25 feet out from where we originally started. And this hospital collection that there and their dogwood shrub. And so we just planted dozens of species of apple, cherry, peach, pear, cherry trees, kiwi arbor, hazelnuts, and black orchids. There's all kinds of plants and stuff. Sort of functional for delivery as a part of the chicken coop system. The hot zone gives the chicken shade in the summertime, so they hang out on the water, sort of part of the chicken yard. So now the place is just, I look at this, probably 50 species of birds and animals that live at the farm are insects, and we see at the farm all the different spiders and snakes and turtles and birds. It's just amazing how much biodiversity returned to the farm some years.
How many people do you have working at the farm?
Oh, right now it's just 1 and 2 volunteer interns. To run the school there. Really, that's just a few hours each day. Well, now it's usually picked up because we're doing a lot of seeding and transplanting. People will ask me, what are you planning for the summer? Because I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, we're going to grow as much food as we can with the available workforce as well. It's the same every year. The workforce, I'm not a people manager, so I have to find people that are inspired to work hard and want to do this. And so whether I'm selling 20,000 produce this year or 30,000, it's often outside of control. I aim for 30,000 to 40,000 produce. While I was writing my book and getting a degree in sustainable community development, we just were selling 20,000 to 25,000 a year in produce. Just had 1 or 2 people helping me. In recent years, I've been trying to increase that as well. So, supposed to be a family farm, my daughter and her family were running a couple of terms. So they're kind of in the process of building their sales back up to where they were a few years ago.
Do you have an aquaculture system in the BioShelter?
No, the planter was raised catfish. I just didn't want to use commercial rabbit food to feed fish and irrigate my organic crops with it, so I never quite got that together. There's only so many hours in a day, so I always hope some aspiring aquaculturists will come along and say, "I'll raise fish here," herbalist. I have this list called farm like this could be a small-scale agricultural enterprise incubator. Some of the enterprises that we could do in addition to our 30,000 unit produce would be more intensive beekeeping, more intensive fruit growing, cut flowers. There's a lot of medicinal herbs that grow in our gardens that we just feed to the chickens, the yellowback, red meadows, basswood flowers, comfrey. There's so many things, calendulas that we grow that we don't really harvest. Linda used to make a lot of herbal wreaths and pressed flower cards and crafts. The environmental education towards is something we do sporadically. We don't develop enough. But these small-scale urban farms like this, they won't just grow food and produce. They can also be meeting places and education facilities, classrooms. Just a short slideshow. I took out a lot of slides to show more of the classroom activities and the BioShelter and all these things. But I'm not the kind of entrepreneur that's going to hire people and explain what to do and help them make money from them. I'm sure somebody could, but it doesn't mean
If you could go back to when you built it and do one thing differently, what would it be?
Oh yeah, I'm going to do a lot different. I would put less insulation on the north roof and put in a bigger heating system. Because I have 3 roofs, and ideally I would have a slate roof because that would have been more too expensive. But I would need more light in the springtime. So when I re-roof, I'm going to put passive vents on the north roof at the top so I get more sunlight in. Instead of using an electric fan to ventilate in the summer, I'll just have pretty passive vents. That's the main thing, just a little more light and a little more natural ventilation.
What is the best part about this project?
All the people I meet that are working on positive solutions. It's easy to be depressed in the world. Talking to some people that if you're not depressed, you're not paying attention. In Pittsburgh, I'm just amazed at all the young people that want to learn about gardening and urban farming or starting beekeeping enterprises. There's just, I don't know what to say in the book, we need this wave of global food system and this undercurrent of local food systems and there's people inspired by good food. So, I have permaculture course we teach at the farm just about every August. All down in Pittsburgh is when our fifth conservatory, we have 22 students. And they all come in inspired and they're all working on sustainable solutions and they're all getting connected and doing interesting things. So, other than I'm personally fascinated with natural history. I took my slides to Carnegie Museum in Pittsburgh to get identified by the terrestrial mollusci. And while the little dish I had in there, I saw this ant crawling around. I realized it wasn't an ant, it was an ant-ringed spider. So I'm showing it, and real quick, it says, "Can I have this?" And he put it in a little jar of alcohol. He's like, "My wife's a spider expert, she loves this." They're just seeing the new discoveries every year. My Facebook page, I like, well, every month we're fighting over the territory today, and red blood roots blooming,